Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is the Kpop Hag, and today I'm going to be storing a lot of unofficial photo cards. So I joined a group order on Instagram for replicas of the Artemis objects. I would love to get the actual physicals of these objects, the ones that have been released physically, but anytime I do see them, they are extremely overpriced, and so this was the next best option for me. So I thought I would store them. Also, I wanted to talk about some decisions I've made. Sorry, my dogs were starting to get rowdy. But I want to talk about some decisions I have made for my collection, as well as some very exciting upcoming things. So Artemis has held their first Gravity for their pre-debut release, and the song titled Birth won. So we now know the pre-release song, and Jaden has actually come out and said that Artemis is going to be releasing a full album for their debut album, which is really, really exciting. So I don't think we have a timeline yet, but I'm really looking forward to that, and I'm excited to see what Artemis does as a group. And speaking of that, I have decided that when it comes to post-Luna, digitally, I will still be supporting everybody. I will still be buying their music, streaming their music videos, streaming the songs. But as far as physically collecting, I am only going to collect Artemis because hustle is my main bias. And I'm really, really, really trying to cut back on my spending for my collection in 2024. So I've just decided that it is best for me to narrow the groups that I collect as much as possible. But we'll store while I talk about this. Let me get some additional lighting. But so this first page that I'm collecting, I don't believe this object was ever released physically, but all of these other objects, there are physical versions out there. They have a number here. They're set up just like the Odd Eye Circle cards. And then they have the QR on the back for you to scan to get your digital copy. So I would really love to find a full set of Hustle's objects and exchange these replicas out for the actual cards. But again, I am trying to curb my spending, and the only time I see the physical objects for sale, they're like $10 to $15 each. And it just seems really overpriced to me, especially for something that is essentially a trading card. But I am keeping an eye out and checking pretty regularly to see if I can find someone who is selling them for a better price. But this is the first set. I don't know if they have an official name, but I refer to them as the Verified Beauty set. So this is the first Verified Beauty set. And the group order manager designed this really, really beautiful back for the backs of the cards. So I do appreciate that they didn't just leave them blank. But this is Hustle's second Verified Beauty set. And there is one more that they released recently, but mine are still with the group order manager. I'm waiting on a couple more cards to arrive before I have her ship out. But yes, I'm trying to curb my spending, and so getting the objects, the non-album stuff, is not going to be as important to me as getting her album cards for the album that they're going to release. And I do have this sneaking suspicion that there are going to be member versions and a group version, maybe even potentially for the album. So I'm really trying to hold off on spending a lot of money, especially when they're like $10 to $15 a piece, because again, it seems way too much. But I didn't know that they even went on sale. They were, from what I understand, it was like a trading card pack. There were random cards inside. It could have been any of the Artemis members. And if I'd known they were for sale, I definitely would have bought a few packs to try to pull all of her cards, but I missed that announcement, unfortunately. And there are these special cards, these special objects, and these are like nearly impossible to find. I think there were only like one of these in like maybe every so many packs. Like, it was more limited, these silver borders, than the yellow borders were. So I don't have any hope that I will ever find these cards, but I don't want to say never. So they did not print the object numbers on the replicas. I don't know if that was of any intent to try to keep people from passing them off as the real thing from the front, but they do not have the numbers on them. But I did look at a template for all of Hostels objects, and I've put them in number order. So as new ones come out, I might have to rearrange a little bit to keep everything in order. But for now, I just have them all laid out in numerical order. And then we have some of the special ones. I think these were for the Asian games. I don't terribly mind the objects because they are like a private NFT. Like, you can't use objects like you could use Bitcoin. Like, there's not a huge market for them. Obviously people trade and sell, but it's just like you would trade or sell a photo card, from what I understand. But I do know that a lot of people have issues with the whole object idea. I just think it's kind of a fun element to get to have some control in the group. Although I am very disappointed that my favorite Artemis song did not do well on the poll, but it could potentially be released. Actually, I don't think it's going to be released by Triple S either, because I don't think it got voted in their Gravity either. But the idea of having some control is really, really appealing. And then, again, there are physical objects of these next 4 cards with the green border. These are from Hostel's solo concert that she had. They were only given to people who attended the concert in person, 1 for each day. And I would love to have these. But I have never even seen one for sale, the physical version. So I can only imagine that these are going to be extremely difficult to get a hold of. And then I have her Season's Greetings card, which I am on the lookout for a set of her Season Greetings inclusion, so I could also get her scratch card. But for now, these replicas are just fine. They are a nice way for me to have non-album Artemis without having to spend a whole lot of money, I guess. And also, objects are mostly only digital, so having the physical versions is really nice. So, as I said, I am severely reducing the number of people that I collect and what I collect. And I have decided that I am going to let go of my photo cards. I am not selling the albums as of right now because I love Umbi's music and I want to support her in every way that I can. But as far as photo cards go, I am going to let everything go. So by the time this video goes up, I will probably I'm going to try to sell the whole thing as a set at first, because I have all of her Eyes One album photo cards. I have 3 for all of her solo releases. I have a couple of the Japanese trading cards as well as her Pepsi collaboration card. So I would like to let go of it as a set if possible, but I will probably give it a month or so, and if no one buys the set, I will probably list them individually. If that happens, I will try to include an update in a post for you all if you're interested in any of them, or if you're interested in the set. It will all be up in my Mercari store. That being said, this is just the beginning of potentially a larger downsizing of my photo card collection. I have considered letting go of all of my photo cards and only keeping those cards that are related to concerts and events that I have attended, fan club memberships, things like that. Because collecting is a very, very expensive hobby, and like I said, I'm really trying to reduce the amount of money I spend. I love my album collection. I have no plans to part with my album collection, but photo cards and non-album things, I think I've kind of outgrown collecting them, and there is always the chance that I will let go of at least a couple other collections in their entirety, or I may downsize my other collections to fit more alongside what I do for Girls' Generation, where I just collect my pulls for every release, or maybe even just one card per version per release. So we will see what happens. I'm trying to do this very slowly. I don't want to let go of anything. I don't want to let go of everything too quickly so that I regret it, but I also don't want to hoard things, because photo cards are just a piece of paper. I did not collect them up until like 2019 or 2020. I definitely didn't collect them seriously until 2020. So it's really just been a period of, I had a lot of extra money, I had a lot of extra time because of COVID and being stuck home in quarantine. So I think I am just ready to move past that, but I want to take it slow. I don't want to rush into it and regret it, because some of these cards, like my Dreamcatcher collection especially, and some of my older Luna cards, some of my older Girls' Generation cards, once they're gone, they're gone. So I will keep everyone updated, and I will see you in the next video.